long time no see. I know this title is not clickbait, so it does feel quite awkward to have literally disappeared for 3 months and then come back to say I'm literally like leaving uni. Bit of a weird one, but I'm obviously going to explain kind of how I've got to this point through this video, and hopefully it kind of helps some of you out. I don't know if there's many of you in the same boat, but if you are, then maybe my experience will help. I don't know, but yeah. So long story short, essentially, in the past kind of few weeks, maybe a month or so, this is just really weird to film, so bear with me. In the past kind of few months or so, whilst I've been doing my course and stuff, I've not really been enjoying it, and I just kind of thought it was one of those things and it will kind of obviously get better the more we do it, because there's always boring bits to the start of a course. Obviously now we're like 3 months in, so I spoke to my like course leader about this as well, and he agreed, like, even at this point, if you're not enjoying it, then it's probably not the right course for you. So essentially, long story short, I'm not going to be pursuing architecture anymore. So my kind of current plan of action is I'm going to transfer course, so I'm not completely dropping out of uni. So bit of a lie in the title, but not really, because I kind of am. So essentially what I'm doing is, we're in January now, I'm going to put in a transfer request, but that literally means I can't, basically because I left it so late in the year, I can't start my new course this year because I've kind of missed too much and I literally just wouldn't pass the year. Train. I love where I live. We don't. No, oh my god, that is a big one. Any day now it will go. It's still going.
2 hours later.
I've completely lost my train of thought now from that train. Because I've left it till January, it's essentially too late in the year to just kind of transfer course and carry on first year, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to have to do is wait until September to start my new course. But there doesn't really seem much point obviously finishing architecture when A, I'm not enjoying it. So I'd kind of have to go to all my lectures and still complete all the projects, and to me I just don't see the point of doing that when I'm going to be dropping it anyway, if that makes sense. So what I'm essentially going to be doing is, once kind of my transfer request and everything's gone through, is I'll be dropping out. So I'd no longer be a student from whenever my transfer goes through, so maybe like February up until September. So in that time I will probably kind of get a full-time job, because I've made my own life very awkward, because I still have to obviously like pay my rent for my student accommodation. So if you didn't know, which is obviously something I've learned through my past few weeks of asking lots of questions, if you do decide to kind of transfer course but don't want to continue your current course, obviously you're not a student anymore, so you won't get the kind of student finance, which means I'm a good grand short of my rent for April, May time. So what I kind of need to do now is find a full-time job to kind of earn the money back to do it, which might seem like a really stupid thing, which is what my dad thought. He was like, why don't you just kind of continue the course to get the money? But when you don't enjoy something, it's really hard to kind of put in the effort to do it, because as I said, I'd still have to do all the work for it. So all the essays, projects, like everything I'd still be doing, which not only takes up a lot of kind of uni time, a lot of my spare time as well, because obviously these projects take a lot of work. Oh good, another train. Yeah, so kind of long story short, my plan is to try and get a full-time job to kind of cover me from now over summer, and then hopefully I'll have enough money to cover my rent here where I'm living for up until end of July, I think, and then after that I've got a house sorted for second year, so it's all good. I essentially just need to kind of make £1,000 to even it out, if that makes sense. I also kind of wanted to say, because I know a lot of you guys who watch my videos have kind of come from like me doing videos about like my portfolio for architecture and stuff like that. Me changing course is in no way kind of slating the course itself or the uni's course at all. Like, I absolutely love the uni here, which is why obviously I'm not choosing to change uni. I still want to come here, just do a different course. The course itself, there's nothing wrong with it. If I'm being honest, organisation is not great at times, but the actual course itself is like great. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the course, so please don't be put off by kind of my experience. I think I was just a little bit kind of uneducated when I went into it. So what the course actually is and what I was expecting are two completely different things. So what I was kind of explaining with my course tutor today when we had a meeting was, there's a lot of kind of technical aspects to architecture, which might seem very obvious to a lot of you. But in the way I kind of viewed it, and from what I kind of gauged from like open days and stuff like that, it was a lot more creative. So it was more like brainstorming ideas on how to design something, which obviously there is a bit of, but like it's kind of, it's really hard to explain, but essentially I kind of say what my course leader told me because he's a practicing architect. So essentially, like, as a practicing architect, most of your time is not spent actually designing. It's doing things like surveys, talking to contractors, doing site analysis, writing up plans and reports. Like, there's a lot of kind of, I don't know the proper word, but technical stuff, and that stuff just honestly bores me to tears, and it's not something I want to do. Which, as I say, isn't something I really kind of thought about before choosing this, which is my own mistake, you know, no one else's. I really didn't kind of put enough research into it before I chose it. Me choosing to do architecture was a very last minute decision, because I was like initially looking at media and stuff. So if you saw, I did a vlog like last May or June, and like I looked around Oxford Brookes University to do like creative media and stuff. So very different, as you can imagine. So I don't know if I mentioned it before, I really can't remember. The course I wanted to change to is creative advertising in September, because it's a good kind of mix of business and graphics. Business I'm perfectly happy with. It's just kind of the kind of stuff we do in architecture is a lot more kind of geography, physics, maths, the kind of three things I really hate, whereas business I actually really enjoy. So I chose to do that at GCSE and A-level, so I feel like that side of it is fine. And then graphics, obviously I love. Again, if you've seen my videos from a good year or so ago, I did do graphics at college before I kind of changed school, so I knew it was something I really enjoy, and it just kind of appeals to me a lot more. Obviously, if I make a big mistake and then decide I don't like this course, I'm in a bit of a pickle, because essentially student finance will only give you 4 years of funding for kind of undergraduate, so you only kind of get one do-over. So if I decide this isn't the course for me and change it again, I'd have to kind of fund my own third year, if that makes sense. So I really have to get it right with kind of changing course this time. But I feel a lot more kind of positive with this kind of change and going to a different course. Obviously I'm going to keep you guys updated, which is why I made this video. So even though I've kind of been MIA for a bit, obviously when I've got my transfer and everything done, I will update you guys, let you know what's going on, how I'm doing and all that stuff. So yeah, I think that's kind of everything I had to say. I just obviously wanted to let you guys know what was happening. If you do have any questions about it at all, feel free to drop them down below. As I say, please don't take this as a negative towards the uni's course or architecture in general. Absolutely nothing wrong with either of them. It is literally just the fact it is not for me. As always, you can subscribe down below if you want to see what I'm doing with my life, despite the fact I'm a bit of a mess and don't know what I'm doing. So you can subscribe if you want to see my life deteriorate. I'm only half joking as well, that's the bad thing. So yeah, that is kind of everything I have to say, and I will see you guys hopefully very soon with another video.